Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Rob Winder.
And I'm Carolina Hassett. Thank you for joining us.
So-called buyer love letters, like what the Sackos wrote, have become a common practice in the home buying process. But those letters and photos can reveal characteristics about the buyer, such as race, religion, or family status. And that presents a potential risk for discrimination. And nearly 80% of respondents to the survey identified low wages as the #1 challenge to recruitment. As prospective employees were either content to rely on pandemic unemployment or have found that they can make more money working just about any place else. Swallow Cave is just a short walk from here. Down behind those trees and shrubbery you can see behind me. Now the interior of the cave is off limits to visitors all year long, but during the bats' roosting season, the presence of people even near the mouth of the cave can cause problems. Despite saying he planned to resign, former Republican Secretary of State Ken Bennett decided to remain in his position as the Arizona Senate's liaison to the Republican-led audit of the 2020 election. Capitol Media Services reports he made a deal with Senate President Karen Fann to remain after she blocked him from entering the fairgrounds last week. Now, Mossinett says another shipment of trucks just came in, and they are pretty well stocked now. But she tells her customers that if they see a truck, tractor, or any other toy on the shelf that they like, they need to buy it now because it may not be there the next time they come. In Phoenix, Rob Winder, Cronkite News. Several years ago, Phoenix resident Mara Linder's work as a divorce mediator prompted her to make a change for her own family.
I'd been doing divorce mediation for a couple years at that point and was getting deeply into people's finances and realized that nobody was saving for the future and definitely not saving for their kids.
With the encouragement of her financial advisor, Linder opened 2 529 savings accounts to help fund the future higher education expenses of her twin daughters, who already have high aspirations.
One loves anything to do with culinary, anything, and she's little Martha Stewart. She's always cooking and presenting and decorating, and she's talked about going to culinary school. The other one has been designing fashion since she's little and has talked about Fashion Institute, but just recently saw Legally Blonde, so she wants to get her fashion degree and then go to Harvard Law.
Even if those plans change, Linder can use the money from her daughter's 529 accounts to support just about anything they want to do.
These 529s are not just for traditional college and university. It's for any type of higher education needs, like vocational training, apprenticeship programs, workforce development.
And the state of Arizona just increased the incentives for Linder to save for her daughter's educations. Previously, residents could deduct up to $2,000 from their state income taxes for all 529 contributions made in a year. And for couples filing jointly, that maximum deduction was $4,000. But now, taxpayers can deduct those amounts for each 529 plan they contribute to in a year.
That's a great advantage for me.
That advantage comes in addition to the shelter these plans provide against the capital gains tax. In normal investment accounts, the capital gains tax will eat away some of the returns on your investments. But in a 529 plan, if that money is used on educational expenses like tuition and textbooks, the capital gains tax can't touch it. Wealth advisor Jay Spector says that remains the primary benefit of a 529 plan, not the increased deduction.
It's still a relatively small deduction, and that alone is not going to encourage someone to save for college through this investment vehicle. It's certainly one carrot that families can use towards contributing.
But Linder, who always itemizes deductions on her tax returns, intends to reap the benefit of that carrot.
I would definitely want to meet that maximum and take full advantage of the deduction, for sure, why not?
In Phoenix, Rob Winder, Cronkite News. I'm here at Wildlings Toy Boutique in Phoenix, which just opened its doors this past August, giving Phoenix residents an alternative to buying toys either online or at the big box stores. And while it's kind of a crazy time to open a business right now, the owner says the community has embraced her.
That looks cool.
It does.
There's another one. Look at that one.
Wow.
A lot of times for my 4-year-old and 6-year-old, I'm looking for things that are a little bit more unique than something you would find at a larger box store, and they definitely offer that.
Jennifer Mossinett, the owner of Wildlings Toy Boutique, says she opened at a time when the community was anxious to support small businesses again. But it's also a challenge because of ongoing issues with the global supply chain.
We typically are able to order all of the toys we want starting in October and have them here ready for holiday shopping, and not have issues getting them in. That is just radically different this year.
Mossinett says she's been able to keep her shelves stocked by ordering early, ordering often, and ordering a wider variety of product, which Steve Passerb of the Toy Association says is an advantage for local businesses.
Well, small retailers are incredibly nimble, and they've been finding new vendors, new products, new alternatives to try to keep their stores open, and that's been really great.
But most of the toy brands at Wildlings are not household names like Hasbro or Mattel. And those suppliers face numerous hurdles in getting their product to store shelves and front porches. From understaffed warehouses to a shortage of truck drivers to exploding rates for shipping containers.
If you're a small company and your shipping container went from being $3,000 to $25,000 plus additional fees, you've just erased your profit in some categories.
Passerb says those higher rates for shipping containers also impact which types of toys reach store shelves.
What toy companies have been doing is looking at an average shipping container and say, do I ship the very large, low margin products, or do I ship the smaller sized, high margin products? Tonka trucks, for example, they're heavy, they take up a lot of room in the shipping container. That company has decided to bring in less this holiday season.
Mossinett says a recent shipment of toy trucks she received contained only about half of what she ordered.
There is definitely a delay in getting all of the inventory in of those great big items that we want to see in the store.
But Mossinett says for her store, all these shipping troubles actually have an upside too.
Big box stores, I'm hearing their shelves are a little bit more empty than normal. So I think in some ways it's been good for our small local business because people are coming to us looking for toys that they can't find at other places.
And customers who come to Wildlings won't find a shortage of friendly service and a passion for play. Now Mossinett says another shipment of trucks just came in and they are pretty well stocked now. But she tells her customers that if they see a truck, tractor, or any other toy on the shelf that they like, they need to buy it now because it may not be there the next time they come. In Phoenix, Rob Winder, Cronkite News. If you don't recognize Phoenix resident Stacy Gordon, you may recognize a friend of hers who can be seen regularly on this station. Julia, one of the newest neighbors on Sesame Street.
I have the wonderful honor of performing her.
When she's not on Sesame Street, Gordon is at her studio on Grand Avenue and McKinley Street, where she builds puppets for sale and teaches children of all ages how to build their own.
We can incorporate engineering and art and science and all of these things. They come together beautifully in puppetry.
And soon, Gordon and her puppets may be coming to your street in an old ice cream truck, which is being refashioned as a mobile puppet studio.
Not every parent has the resources to bring their kids here. But with my truck, I can go to neighborhoods. I can go do outreach.
The Arizona Commission on the Arts is helping her in that outreach with one of its $5,000 research and development grants. According to the Commission's Keisha Bruce, the grant does not have specific rules on how it needs to be used.
That's one of the great parts about this grant is that artists get to decide what they need, what their community needs, and then we get to help them bring that to life.
In addition to bringing the puppet building workshops that she does here at her studio to neighborhoods across the valley, Gordon will also use her ice cream truck to put on a full-fledged puppet show for valley families. And that's where the grant from the Arizona Commission on the Arts comes in.
This grant is allowing me to take time and build a show the right way and bring in a story from start to finish that has a lesson in it.
To do that, Gordon would need to take time off from teaching the workshops which pay her bills. The grant will enable her to do that and promote her growth as an artist in a very important way.
It allows you to take a risk, it allows you to fail, and it allows you to take another risk.
In Phoenix, Rob Winder, Cronkite News.